Hello, and welcome to GhanaVeg Food Diaries. My name is Salam. On today's exciting show, we're going to be talking about greenhouse technologies. Stay tuned. Today, we're going to be discussing greenhouse technology. In the studio with me, we have Lukman, who is an agronomist, and we also have Salam, who actually is a farmer who uses greenhouse technology. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we started, I said to myself, I really don't know much about greenhouses, so I decided to go and visit Salam at his farm. Let's take a look. Most people don't associate greenhouses with this part of the world. But here I am in Medina, where Salam grows his vegetables in a greenhouse. So let's go inside and find out more. I've never been in a greenhouse before. Salam, this place looks amazing.
Welcome.
Thank you. Can you tell me more about what you do?
Sure. So this greenhouse belongs to a group of guys called Urban Jungle.
Okay.
What we do here is basically grow vegetables.
Why a greenhouse in Ghana?
Greenhouses are used for different purposes.
Okay.
In our case, we chose the greenhouse technology because we want to be able to increase yields by controlling pests and disease.
Okay.
It also allows us to grow various different plants that you cannot control and grow outside of a controlled environment.
Okay, so you've named some of the benefits of having a greenhouse. What are some of the challenges?
There are a lot of challenges. The biggest one, of course, is cost. Technical know-how is the other challenge that we have to deal with. One of the issues we have in Ghana is the contamination of our soils. So that challenge forces us to have to use a different growth medium.
Okay.
In this case, we are using cocoa peat.
Cocoa peat, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
to help it hold water and to help it drain better.
Fantastic.
Right, so that's what we're doing.
So as a consumer, why would I want to buy vegetables that are grown in a greenhouse? Are there any benefits to the consumer?
Yes, there are huge benefits.
Okay.
If we do things right, we are able to increase our yields to the point where the cost comes down for the consumer. We are able to, because it's a controlled environment, we're able to grow all year round. The biggest cost for me is the health part of it. Because we grow in a controlled environment and we control how much chemicals, how much water, and how much all other stuff we put in the crops.
Yeah.
Our crops tend to be very, very healthy.
Okay.
So if you measure the residual amount of chemicals in any harvested crop here, it's almost zero.
But it looks fantastic, and it looks like you've got amazing vegetables growing here.
Thank you.
Greenhouses, not just for cold places, it actually can be used here in Africa. Controlled environment so that they can control and manage nutrition that's going into the vegetables. It can also make sure that we're getting less chemicals in our food. I'm gonna pick out some vegetables and take them back to the studio for our recipe. So I'll see you later. I really learned a lot that day. Thank you so much for allowing me to have that visit.
Pleasure.
So how long have you been doing greenhouses and technology in Ghana?
I personally have been doing it a little over a year. Mm-hmm. It's been around in Ghana off and on for maybe close to 10 years.
10 years,
I believe.
okay, wow.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So, Lukman, agronomist, not a lot of people know what that is. Could you enlighten us about what it is you do and a bit about the work that you do?
Actually, agronomy is simple. It's just the normal agric. It's just probably a sophisticated way of saying it.
Okay.
So, but it's actually about using these science and technological ways to actually make sure that you maximize everything that you have on your farm. So basically, you make sure that everything that you have done is based on scientific facts, and so that at the end of the day, you make sure that all your crops that you produce are actually better, they are healthier, and they have better value in the market.
Okay. I mean, from the visit and also from what you're saying, there's a lot of science that goes into it. So it's not just we throw a seed and then we wait for 3 months. So there's work that you're doing every day. What kind of work are you doing every day, and what does it entail? What kind of teams do you have?
We're doing things like pruning. We're doing things like pollination of flowers. We're doing things like adjusting fertilizers. We're doing things like controlling pests, controlling funguses, harvesting. Yeah. So those are the kinds of activities we do on a daily basis.
Your temperature regulation.
Temperature regulation, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe ventilation, all those.
Yeah, those ones are a given. The structure is supposed to provide that upfront, so that's a given once you have the structure.
So when I was visiting, you said that because it's a controlled environment, you have maybe less pests.
Correct, yes.
Okay. With the greenhouse, are there still pests that kind of
because we go and come through the door.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to let in pests one way or the other. We have pests that have like spores and eggs and stuff in our tools. So we try to sterilize everything we use. We try to control everything that comes in, but you cannot prevent everything 100%. So we still get pests. The peskiest of the pests we have is the white fly. So we have to keep controlling the white fly, which is like a ubiquitous pest everywhere you go.
I have that actually on my basil in my garden. They love basil.
They do. They love a bunch of stuff.
And I know in Srigan Farms, you guys don't use greenhouse technology.
No, we don't.
Okay, so would you say what kind of pests do you guys have there?
Yeah, we have a lot of white flies. And,
the white flies?
Yeah, and then fruit flies.
Okay.
And then FCM, the false colimoth moth.
Okay.
It's one of the biggest problems that we have right now in Ghana.
Okay.
And because of that particular moth, there's a ban from EU on chili. Okay. Yeah, so Ghanaians are not exporting chili because of that. Wow. Yeah, so because of that, we are actually very concerned with that.
These pests really are serious.
So there are a lot of trials at the moment with the IFDC and to make sure that that particular pest can be controlled so that those from the EU can actually approve crops so that we can export again. Two
different things that are happening in both farms, but you guys are all putting nutrition into the soil to make sure that the vegetables are healthy. Yes. Yeah. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Every crop has different nutritional needs depending on where in the lifespan the crop is. Okay. So when you plant the crop from the beginning, it needs to vegetate. So you need a nitrogen-based fertilizer. Okay. At some point, you start having to force the plants to flower and fruit. Okay. So we start doing more potassium-based fertilizers. Okay. In addition to that, we provide other nutrients like calcium, like phosphorus, like there are a bunch of others.
Those micronutrients.
A bunch of micronutrients that we provide as well.
So I saw that you were using cocoa peat. Could you tell us a bit about cocoa peat?
So cocoa peat is the growth medium that we use mainly because we decided not to grow in the soil. A lot of that is because we were worried that we could have some pests in the soil, which there are different ways to control that. Now cocoa peat is mainly the peat that comes from the coconut husk. Okay. After you've removed the fiber from the husk, what's left over is the peat. Typically, a growing medium is just supposed to anchor the plants, especially because in our case, we are providing all the nutrients the plant needs. We don't have to worry about what nutrient is in it or not in it. We are providing everything the plant needs. So it's just an anchor.
Because I think in more, traditional farming, you would have to rotate crops to make sure that the nutrients left behind by certain crops would then be passed on and switched by doing crop rotation.
Exactly. In our case, it's not important because we provide everything the plant needs.
So this has been a really fantastic conversation. I'm really learning a lot. What you guys do really is science, looking at every aspect of the growth process of these vegetables. So at home, what do you know about greenhouse technology? We checked with some of you out on the street to find out what you know.
I know a little about greenhouse technology. Yeah.
Basically, greenhouse technology is about growing plants and like in-house.
No, please, I don't know about greenhouse technology.
I wouldn't really buy a product from greenhouses. I believe the sun has an important role to play when it comes to farming. So, looking at the productions from the greenhouse, I think it lacks the sunlight, so I wouldn't buy a product from greenhouse.
No. I'll never do that because it's not natural. I want the one that is planted from the sun, that receives the sunlight and the rain and everything from the natural sources, not from the room or that. No.
Oh, why not? Because I would like to buy products from greenhouse because I've learned that nowadays, because of this things that people have been using, our farmers have been using to planting of our crops, it's making some of us go sick. So it will be better off if we do plant our own crops without this fertilizer. So I would love to buy.
No, I don't know what they do. So if there's a produce from them, I'll not buy it.
No, because of the chemicals they use, it's too much.
Yeah, I'll buy it because that place, it seems like they've kept them, they've preserved them very good. They didn't add any chemicals, nothing like chemicals is being added to it. So I think if I say it, my spirit will tell me to buy it because I think they preserve it good.
Okay, so we had a lot of people with some misinformation and some things that were not too accurate. Any surprises for you?
Yeah, huge surprises.
Which one?
Greenhouse technology, meaning we are putting chemicals, lots of chemicals in the food. That's a huge misunderstanding of what's going on in the greenhouse. In fact, I don't like the name greenhouse technology. I would rather use protected horticulture.
Okay.
And the reason why we do it is, first off, the plants are still getting sunlight like any other plants. They're still getting water like any other plants. They are getting the same fertilizers that our open field farmers use. In fact, I do open field farming as well. So I do the same things, whether in a greenhouse or open field. The protected horticulture is only supposed to give us an environment where we can keep out pests and properly control the chemical use and the water use so that we can maximize the yields of the products. Now, if you look at where the world is going right now, our old way of growing things is not going to be sustainable if we are supposed to continue feeding our populations. So we have to look at intensive ways of increasing our yields. And protected horticulture is one way of creating an intensive crop yield system. That's why we are doing it. So it is wrong, completely wrong, that we are pumping the crops full of chemicals. Actually, it's the inverse. When you test the crops that we produce for any chemical at the point where we harvest, the residual levels of chemicals are almost undetectable.
So actually, because you're protecting it, you are using possibly less.
We're using less, and we're also following very, very carefully the instructions of the fertilizer producers and whatever pesticide producers say. So if the pesticide producer says don't harvest 20 days after spraying, I don't harvest till that 20 days elapses. The farmers, the small-scale farmer in the field, you have no idea what he's doing. He could be harvesting and giving it to you right the day after he sprays. We adhere to a very strict regime of chemical application and fertilizer application so that the crops come out healthier than anything you are used to.
You wanted to add
based on what they said, greenhouse technology is actually trying to control all the everything the plant actually needs. So the plant needs sunlight, it needs nutrients, it needs some optimum level of temperature, it needs everything. So what he will actually do in his farm will be to make sure that, okay, my plant needs 50 grams of, say, calcium. So he will make sure that he will provide 50 grams of calcium for that plant. That's what he does, which is different from the open field. The only difference is that this one is controlled and everything is actually controlled by him.
So controlled horticulture.
Yeah, everything is controlled by him. So.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation. I feel like I've really learned even more than I thought I had learned from the very first visit to the greenhouse. And I think, Salam, you're going to stay and cook with me?
Sure.
When we come back, we've got a beautiful recipe using peppers, so don't go anywhere.
My name is Sheila Esibe-Yabua, the Deputy Program Leader of GhanaVeg. GhanaVeg is a program funded by the Royal Netherlands government, and we know that the Netherlands is one of the leading producers and exporters of vegetables worldwide, and this expertise is brought to bear in the GhanaVeg program. The program seeks to develop the commercial vegetable sector here in Ghana by making it strong and robust through the support of strong business-led initiatives. As such, we work with front-runner businesses empowering them through our stakeholder engagements. We have trade missions, we have business-to-business meetings, and also we have a matching grant facility where we support through funds. In addition, we enhance production through a strengthened capacity in agronomy, where a pool of agronomists are trained and certified to give hands-on, practical, and timely advisory services to challenges with production on the field. We would like to partner with you here at GhanaVeg if you're a producer, exporter, aggregator, processor, or you offer services in the vegetable sector, or you supply inputs, machinery, or equipment. You're welcome to join the GhanaVeg family. You can reach us online at www.ghanaveg.org. You can send us an email, info@ghanaveg.org. We are active on Twitter and on Facebook. You can also call the phone number on your screen. We want to encourage you to grow more vegetables, eat more vegetables, and stay healthy. And remember, GhanaVeg, healthy and quality vegetables from Ghana through new ways of doing business.
Welcome back. We're in the kitchen with Salam, and as promised, we're gonna make a delicious meal for you today. When I was at the greenhouse, we were talking about peppers, and I was inspired by that. So what we're gonna make today is gari fota stuffed peppers. Sometimes gari fota can tend to be a bit dry. So this one, it's gonna be stuffed and then baked, and then the juices from the peppers will actually help to keep it moist. So to start off, let's go through the ingredients. We have regular vegetable oil, and I like the addition of having palm oil in there as well. Onions, garlic, ginger. I'm in love with fricassee right now, so we've got fricassee. Tomatoes, salt and pepper. We've got a little bit of a pakwashito. We've got the green beans. We've got carrots that have been sort of just lightly blanched so that we don't have to overcook them once we start the stew. We also have some minced meat, just to add a little bit of protein in there. We've got the gari, of course, and I like using basil. It has a nice little herbaceous flavor. And then I had peppers. That was the inspiration. So to get started, we have some gari and some water. Maybe if you could just give your hands a wash, and then you could help me to add enough water to that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the stove. Okay. So do you cook at home a lot?
I do.
Yes.
Favorite dish is actually cabbage stew.
Cabbage stew.
So I make a tomato-based cabbage stew. Mostly with some stewed beef.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can do it without a touch of very flavorful habanero pepper.
Yes, yes.
So that's my signature dish at home.
Okay, so you can just go ahead with that.
So,
and then just add enough water to moisten it, not too much. The peppers will add more juice to it. So this is just us putting it.
Do I stir?
Yes, please. Let me get you a spoon. Here you go. Any favorite vegetables?
Yes. So you're starting with
This is just palm oil and regular vegetable oil. I like the flavor that the palm oil leaves when you put it inside the oven. It gives it a different flavor. So we're just gonna warm that up a little bit. You're all set with that? Great. I'll take that. And then if you can just go ahead and help me stirring. We're gonna add the onions and the garlic.
Okay.
And a little bit of ginger. So this is our garlic. Sort of the Ghanaian trilogy. So we've got everything,
ginger,
yes, and onions. There we go. Just get that going. I'm gonna increase the flame a little bit. So aside from your corned beef stew, what else do you have up your sleeve?
Oh, I'm actually a pretty good cook. I do everything, actually.
Okay.
When my boss, my wife, is not at home,
yeah,
I can whip up a mean anything you want.
Anything.
Yeah.
So
actually, I've even experimented with baking.
Okay.
The last one I attempted was this.
Succeeded.
Attempted.
Okay.
It wasn't a very good attempt.
Okay.
What's the name of this plantain-based
Tatali?
Ofam?
Ofam, okay,
I
yes.
attempted Ofam.
And what happened?
It wasn't a very good attempt, but
No?
hey, I learned a lot from it, so
That's the
I'm ready for my next attempt on that one.
What didn't work?
It came out too soft. I think
Okay.
I had it too
A little bit
watery
of salt.
before it went in.
Okay.
So it didn't bake properly. It didn't
Okay.
form the way
Yeah.
I wanted it to form.
A little bit of black pepper. Do you like chili? Do you like heat?
I do. I love heat.
Okay, so let's
That's
see.
why I eat the habanero peppers.
Okay, so let me know
Yeah.
how much would you like of this one?
Just dump the whole thing.
Really?
It's just papushito. It's
All
not
right,
hot.
okay, there we go. You'll have to take the first bite.
No problem.
All right.
My favorite meal every morning is a vegetable stir fry with eggs
Okay.
and about half or 3/4 of a habanero. Now I don't know if anybody knows what habanero is, but habanero is one of the hottest known peppers to man.
Exactly.
It's a very flavorful pepper, right? You see it looks like a colored papushito, but it's
Yeah.
way hotter. One habanero would represent about 5 to 6 papuchitos. So that's one
So
of the things
that's
we
how much you're
grow
having for
here.
breakfast?
Oh yeah.
That's breakfast?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so we're just gonna let the tomatoes cook down a little bit.
Okay.
I have minced meat, but you can use any type of meat that you want. I find it very easy
Are
and
you using the
convenient.
mince because it's faster to cook?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slice up some of my basil. Are there any vegetables you don't like?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I wasn't a very big fan of the onions, friend. What do you call it?
Shallots.
That guy. No, that one.
Garlic.
Garlic.
Yes.
I wasn't a very big fan of garlic because I used to eat a lot of onions as a kid.
Okay.
I opened the fridge.
Did you have a lot of friends as a kid?
Oh yeah, I did.
Even with the onions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. So I got into the fridge once and saw a garlic clove, and I thought it was onion.
Wow.
And I bit into it and had a horrible day.
And that was it?
Yeah.
But now you're back?
I'm getting used to it since it seems to show up in every diet at home. So.
Excellent. So I've just added in some of the basil.
So
you can
what
smell that
exactly
already.
does basil add to?
For me, it's flavor. I know in Ghana a lot of people use it more with chicken, but I like breaking the rules, so it's fine for me. It's just it adds a freshness to it. I think especially when you're using palm oil, it can tend to be quite heavy, and it leaves like a heavy coat on your palate. I don't know, yeah. And so I find that it actually lifts it back up and it brightens up the dish.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and add this now and just break that up. As you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the,
Starting to look really good.
yeah? Now we're gonna add more vegetables. So here we go. We've got green peppers in here. We've got green beans and carrots. And basically what we're gonna do here is, once that's almost ready, because we're still gonna cook it a little bit longer, we're going to put it in the oven to finish. What I want us to do is we're going to mix half of that. Let me just take a look and see how we're doing. Thank you. So, all right, so what we're gonna do is, I think we're pretty much done. We're gonna take half of that, and I'm gonna allow you to mix that in. And then, there we go. There you go. Just go ahead and give that a good mix. I'm gonna take the leftover sauce, place that in the bottom of the pan, so that the moisture from this will help to, you need a little bit more?
No, it's okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Good.
Excellent. I'm gonna, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff the peppers.
So you're going to bake the pepper when you're done with the
Yes,
stuffing?
so that
Or what?
at about maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
put it in the oven. By the time it gets in the oven, you know it's ready when the pepper itself is soft. Okay? And it's gonna take the juices from the pepper, and it's also gonna take the juices from the stew that we just made. And let's take that. Medium oven. I would then just cover it to make sure we don't lose any of the moisture that we're working so hard to create. Go ahead and put that in the oven. And since I knew you were coming, I decided to put one in a little bit in advance. So here we go. So let me get you a plate.
That looks really good.
So let's see how we're doing. Get some of that stew in there.
Never had my Gary Photo in there.
In a pepper.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to keep it nice and moist.
Yes.
All right, there we go. So, I'll give you the honors.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give it a try. So while he's finishing his stuffed pepper, I'm gonna say thank you for joining us today. Make sure you check out the GhanaVeg website or their Facebook page. We're gonna have details about this wonderful recipe and other recipes and tips about healthy eating in Ghana. So, thank you and goodbye. How is it?
It's really delicious.
Yeah? It's not too dry?
No.